Hello, everybody. Ryan Carpenter here with No BS Golf, presented by P45 Knuckle Down Golf. Well, let's see. We're Wednesday. It's rolling on, and I had some follow up lessons this week, which was great, and got a couple of fellas started in the right direction. And the follow ups are important, especially in the beginning, because there's a lot of building in, expectations and the proper processes, the proper, So, in fact, I just remember something about that. Going back to the science lab fellas post, making your practice. I call it practice with a purpose. Theirs was deliberate practice. No matter, it's defining it, and so in the lessons to follow, you're kind of just picking an important piece of something to do, showing it, helping them feel it, helping them see it. Yeah, that's the most important part right there, hands down. And as you walk through that, it's a lot of repetition, to be honest, not only verbally, but just doing, because players walking in the door, they're not used to this whole training. Typically, you might find somewhere in the past, another sport, got good at a musical instrument, for example, maybe that can help, but it's the same thing. And in this realm, it's a lot of repetition, and then it's feedback. That number 3 on their list, my favorite. And I've got another partner I work with that they can give us that feedback, so that's the important thing. And then the facility, www.thegolfpub.com, that's why I partnered with them, because they got the place for players to be able to come in and do the proper development work to get this job done, and then I've got the tools to hand over. So anyways, one of the things that started happening even during the actual lesson itself, and it was perfect timing. I loved it. Talented, fit young man, more than capable physically of anything he could possibly dream of someday if he wants to. And we were working on, setting the club up in the top in a certain way. And it was mainly understanding how this should work. Out of the 6 possible movements, what should be right and how much in all different possible directions. So he was doing two directions, really aggressive, the wrong direction. And a lot of arm lifting up, out, away from the body to get separation, but it's separation in a bad way. So we worked on correcting some of that, and it felt weird. And is this right? Is right? And so it was over and over again. Yeah, well, let me get help just a little bit. There we go, right there. So I'd come up, help. And as he's working through it, I said, now remember, focus on the camera. Look back there and take a look. Watch yourself. Go up and stop. And right about in the middle of one, he's taking club back. He's kind of looking down at first, and then going up. And he gets up into, he's trying to find it, and then he looks back at the camera and he goes, oh no, and he immediately puts it right back in the position we're working on. So right there, he caught himself, because slow motion, no golf ball, no full swing, no impact whatsoever, and even then, he was struggling to get it up there just right in the spot we were talking about. So it was an important learning experience, and I think he got a lot out of it, hopefully. And but this is what happens is, players will go off, and it's so easy to lose focus, and it's so easy to start going down the wrong path, unfortunately. And then we revisit, and we kind of take a look, and unfortunately, more often than not, we'll take a look and it's, man, not much changed here, yikes. I don't know what to tell you here, and that's a problem. So, anyhow, that was an important learning experience, and all players need to eventually get to that point of where they can understand, and it's going to be, unfortunately, through time for a lot of players, that there are better practices, better ways, better deliberate practices, and the 4 that were given right there by our golf science lab guys. It's like they've been teaching with me every day for 15 some odd years. So that was a great session. I got some more evaluations coming up, and a Saturday demo day. So hit me up if you want to in the area and you want to come down to the old golf pub Saturday morning. Freebies, 20 minutes. Come in, take a look at something, and show you how it works and whatnot. And yeah, we're doing that Saturday morning. Working on some more clinics coming up. The ladies were ready to rock. Didn't get none. Where you at, fellas? Free. I mean, $10 clinic. You're gonna learn something at least, and you get to come up. When it's quiet. And so we're gonna get those reset up again. But so be looking for that. I didn't get a whole lot on the old Twitter. Probably the only thing which I would imagine most people don't care about is the whole. I don't know. You can look at this stuff from 10 different directions, I guess, if you want to. But the tour has this whole equity thing they're doing with these players, and from way smarter business heads than me. What I understand is that they're basically putting a deferred value in their hands, meaning they're not really getting anything right now at all. And the way that it's designed, the way that it's set up, they'd have to be able to sell it anyways to make any kind of real money off of it. So like stock of sorts, equity in the ownership of this whole PGA Tour Enterprises stuff. So we know they brought in the SSG, and from my viewpoint, the only thing I know about that is those guys are real smart about business, and they know exactly how to manipulate and create and function businesses and things to their benefit. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd be trusting them a whole lot, to be honest. Maybe it's all great, but from what it sounds like, this whole ownership thing, this whole equity thing that they're getting, I don't know. It's we'll see. But like I said, from those that I know are smarter and do this kind of stuff for their living in some way or capacity, they're kind of calling it a shady deal to some degree. So I guess we'll find out at some point. But apparently Tiger's getting $100 million and Rory $50 million. Who knows if any of this information is true? But I mean, doesn't that just, I don't know. It just goes back to like, everybody's all talking about, okay, well, this, that, here and that, and live, PGA, blah, but they did it for the money. Well, I mean, again, I don't see anybody playing golf for free. Unless they suck and get cut, and that's even worse. So, isn't this just for the money? So I don't know. It's a thing, and it's a whole lot of frustration for everybody, and there's no end in sight. I know there's a lot of people that are thinking, oh, we're going to come to a resolution. And based off a lot of the communication that's out there from those that have some kind of source to something, they couldn't be any further apart right now. So, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, not a lot of topic. I don't know what happened in the old golf Twitterverse for sure. Slowed down quite a bit though. Didn't really see a lot. Definitely had that, experience in the lesson time, and that was great. And got some new students that are going to get started here soon, and it's so important. And coming up down the road here, these players, I hope they stick with it, because I know where, especially these two that have really dove in already, their potential is very high, very, very high, and but we're just now starting in spring and summer, and so ideally, I'd honestly probably tell them, hey, look, take a break from playing for a little bit, because I want you to focus, develop, because one of the main things we're trying to work on with these fellas is getting them a new ball flight that's reliable to them. And just like what the fella did right there, is as soon as he lost focus, man, he went right back to what he knows, and he's fighting, and so the longer players continue to go back to the old swing, or the more they do it, let's say. So let's say you take a lesson, you learn something, you go work on it the way we tell you, but then you go play around. Well, you threw your round, you're going right back to what you know. because you ain't had time to develop nothing yet. And that reinforces in your brain and your eyes and your body. When I see a ball and when I see a target, that's how I want to hit it. So you're literally untraining your system from the time that you did put in the time training stuff. So when that's the realm we're working in, we don't have to work in that realm. We can go and work on short game and work on what we call a playing lesson, course management and making decisions and all kinds of other stuff. Or we can just, tweak a little bit of what you got too, maybe. I don't like that necessarily because tweaks don't really, it's typically a tweak is a Band-Aid, but you got a bullet shot. Doc, and here's a Band-Aid. That might stop the bleeding for a little while, but you know what? It's not fixing the root issue is the problem. So, we can do that, but when you decide to step to the other side of the equation and you decide, you know what? I'm thinking more long term. By next season, I want to be this kind of player, consistency, ball flight control, so on and so forth, that allow me to go from I'm shooting around 85 now to 75 next year. Okay, cool, great, awesome goals. That's more serious work, and so that's next season. That's what we want to start working for, is getting ready to be 100% past swing issues, things like that. And so, and that's also part of the importance of this here thing when you're talking to people about the stuff, and you got to set proper expectations, because we got way too much information out there. Hey, we're gonna fix your slice today, folks. BS. And no BS, right? And it's just not the way it works. Those are Band-Aids. Those Band-Aids fall off for most players right away or fairly shortly after. And we're not doing that, folks. We're making players. We're getting people to come out on the other end. They come out next spring and play their first round with their buddies, and their buddies turn around and go, "Where did you come from? You used to hit the ball like that and lose the ball. Now you're, throwing the ball out there with, wow, what did you do?" That's when it's exciting, people. In the beginning stage is not so much fun, trust me. And I tell them this, it's not fun. It's a lot of work, a lot of reps, and but it's getting you through a process to get to that part where then all of a sudden it's fun again. Oh, it's not just fun, it's way more fun, because you're hitting the ball in a way that you never necessarily even imagined was possible for you. It's possible. Anybody can learn it. But once you attain that, once you have created that ability, this game is even more fun, because you thought you wanted to go out and play bad back then. You quit your job, play golf every day if you could, because you're just so excited about how much better it is now. So that's why we do this. That's why we do the proper approach to development and making players, And it don't matter. You can take a guy who's a 40 down to a 30. He's happy too. So it's on all levels, but it's making that big jump, that big change, that major, and statement, and it's important. So, and it's fun. That's once you get there. There's a little bit of time block in there, that delay till we get there. But boy, once we hit that point and we're off and running, now we go back out. We have some fun. We get on the course. We get some short game going to match it so you can score, and yeah, that's when it's fun. So anyhow, but making sure that what you're doing is quality and proper and actually doing something is so important to this process. So these are the things you got to come learn, folks. It starts with the evaluation lesson. We got to get that in. So those are currently free, remember. And by the way, I happen to have a fella, I hope I hear from him at some point, up in Massachusetts, it looks like. So way up there, and I'm way down here in old Georgia. Don't matter. All you got to do is hit me up. Twitter at P45KDG. Email P45knuckledowngolf@gmail.com. it's as simple as this. We got this technology here that I'm using right now. Well, it can be a two-way conversation too. We can go FaceTime with it. We can go Zoom meeting with it. Whatever. Well, that reminds me of the thing I'm doing tonight. I don't have to be present to help you with this. You can send me videos. We can connect and talk, and then I can walk you through whatever you need to be doing to get you better. The in-person loss, if anything, is going to be more, I can't like physically force you to feel in position, but I can get you there, and then we can talk about it via, you put a little, headset in your ear, and we can, connect with your phone. And playing lessons is hard. Obviously, that's a difficult one, and then sometimes short game, because short game's a little more on the turf requirement. So I can walk you through all of it without being there, however, but I do teach basically what we call remotely. So it starts with the evaluation lesson, whether you're here, there, anywhere. Got to go through that regardless. Got to have the conversation. Got to find out where you're at, what you want to be, and let's do this. So, anyhow, that reminded me, Zoom. So I've got and this is another thing for my side of the coin. You get to the point where you start finally meeting all these great instructors around the country from time to time, and there's one thing I know I've learned consistently from them: never stop learning, because they'll admit they don't know everything, and they love to keep learning. More info, and so I'm still learning. And I got Zoom classes tonight. I got 2 top 50 Golf Digest fellas that I'm taking a class with tonight and tomorrow night, and all for the sake of learning. And my learning is good, because when I do get to you and it's your lesson and everybody else's, hopefully I'm getting even better on my end of it, so I can make the learning easy for you. And that's why it's important to me to keep learning. So I want to make it as easy as possible. So anyways, that's about it for today. And like always, please smash that like button, subscribe, share on the Twitter, share on the Facebook, whatever, everywhere out there. That helps me a lot. Go to the comments section and tell me what you want me to talk about, okay? You get to steer the ship here, folks, at No BS Golf. But for now, gonna have some other things hopefully popping up. I keep working on stuff, but people are busy. It is hard to get people down. So anyhow, you know how it goes, as always. But please do all those things: smash, subscribe, share. Twitter, hit me up. Email, hit me up. Facebook, hit me up. Whatever. Reach out. Let me know what's going on, and let's talk. For now, Ryan Carpenter, No BS Golf, presented by P45 Knuckle Down Golf. Take care, folks.